Hey everybody, it is Liz with Liz Art Finds, and this week we are on haul number 35, and it is just a random collection of stuff this week. So we'll go through that in a minute. But first, I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping. First, thank you to those of you who were able to go over to my Facebook page and hit follow or like or whatever it is. That's at Liz Art Finds over on Facebook. I think I'm up to 98 followers right now, and we only need 100 before I can start live streaming over there from Niknax. So if you haven't already joined our little Facebook page or liked the page or followed the page or whatever the thing is, it's Liz Art Finds over on Facebook. And yeah, just feel free to follow us there. Okay, so let me see. Over here on YouTube, if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. That would be amazing. Like, comment, share, all the things just to keep us growing, which would be amazing. Okay, so upcoming shows. I did not get the extra show added in. So I have a show on the 26th. That's going to be Christmas in July as part of the holiday train. That is, I think, at 8 o'clock, Friday night, the 26th of July. And that's a 30-minute show. And then I have a show the following week on Thursday night, the 1st, and that is at 8:30 p.m. And that's also a 30-minute slot, and that is the theme of No Place Like Home. So we're gonna look at some things that remind me of home in some way, shape, or form. And it's been really fun curating that show. So I will have those listed hopefully in the next week or so. The July 26th show, I've already started adding things that are available for pre-bid. I'm hoping to have that loaded this week. I'm gonna be heading out of town a little bit, so for a bit. And so anyway, I'm gonna try to get some things done before I go. I'm also bringing all the things with me, including my light box, so I can take pictures if I don't finish. And I'll be just working from the road. So anyway, next week's haul is going to be an auction haul. I ended up getting some lots at an auction recently because I'll be part of a Fenton frenzy train at the end of August, and I didn't have enough Fenton quite yet. So some of the auction lots, somebody must have liquidated a Fenton collection, but instead of them keeping all the Fenton together, they split it all up into different glass lots. So it was like a Fenton piece here, a Fenton piece there, a couple Fentons there. So I ended up buying a lot of glass, some of which is really exciting to me. I'm going to show you one piece just because I have it sitting over here. Hang on, wait. This one I'm keeping. I'm keeping this sneak peek for next week. I got this in my auction lot, my Fenton auction, and I'm keeping that. I believe it to be a Murano perfume bottle, and I just love it. So I'm keeping that, and I did get a couple other bowls that I think are Murano, and I got I got like Victorian glass. I got one that's like a French perfume that's got a silver top that's antique from a long time ago. There's some really valuable glass there, so I'm excited to share that with you, and that will be next week's haul, which I'm going to record a little early, but that'll go up next Sunday. Okay, I think that's all. Let us get into this week's haul. This was a lot of running around town, various places, and let's see, I'm going to start with, this was on the 5th of July. This was up in Rockville, Maryland. I got this SVE glass. Let's see, you can see that, oops, upside down. SVE glass bottle. And I don't know if you saw, it says below the SVE, it says made in Italy. Okay, so this is Italian glass. It is iridescent, shiny, it's blue. It's fairly new. Like, this isn't like really old, because see that? That's all plastic, and I'm pretty sure that's a newer kind of thing. I don't know how new. These are being sold online as vintage SVE, Firenze, Italy, blue bottle with stopper. and I paid $2.99 for it, and the sold comps are in the $29 to $35 range. Some are actually listed much higher, but the solds are pretty, you know, they're pretty much in that range of 29 to 35. All right, I found this green candy dish, okay, and this glows. Let me see if I can find my little black light. And of course you can't see, I hate how that doesn't allow you to see it so well in here. There you can see it a little bit, right? It's really, really hard to show with the ring light on and stuff, but that is, like, it definitely glows, like it lights up like crazy under black light. There's none of these, like there were two, if I do a Google Lens search, there's two that come up. Neither of them actually go to the actual photo of the bowl. They're like dead ends that go to weird places. It does have a mold seam. You can see there's a line that kind of goes all the way down and across the mold. If you can see that. May not be able to see it. There's a, oh yeah, there you go. There's a mold seam, right? So this is pressed glass. I don't know who makes it yet. I know it glows. I know it's a candy dish. I know it's pretty and it's green. I paid $1.99 for it. I just don't know. Because it glows, it'll probably do better. I want to say 15 to 18. I wrote down 18 to 28 because similars are selling, you know, 24-ish. I don't think it's going to go that high, but it's definitely more than $1.99. So I was kind of excited to find that and super excited to find out that it glowed. Yeah, so definitely a bunch of glowy stuff in what I'm going to show you next week too. All right, so then the next one I found in the same place, hiding on a bottom shelf, is this glass vase. And it's interesting in that it's yellow at the top, and then the little ball thing is green, and then the bottom is green. This is Tiffin, is the company that made this. And I actually wrote some stuff down on Tiffin. It's a weird company, like it's exchanged hands so many times. But there's a version of this that's the lemon lime, the yellow into the green. And then there's one that's called watermelon, where the top is pink and the bottom is green. The pink one seems to have a much higher resale value. I'm not sure why that is, because there's a lot more of them. I could only find a couple sold on the yellow, and they were in the 12 to 24 range, but the pink are in the like 20 to 60 range, with a lot of them in the 50s and 60s and high 40s and things like that. $39.95, $45, $49, yada yada. And if you search on it, like, there's so many more solds in pink. So I don't know if that means that this is just more rare and it could sell for as much, or if it's not as rare. I don't know what the deal is, but the solds I only found 2 solds on the yellow, and they were not very high. But Tiffin glass, it's really pretty. It did not come with a stopper. All the things that I found look exactly like this. So Tiffin glass was actually started in the 1800s. It was under a different name. It started in Steubenville, Ohio. And pretty much as soon as that started, they had a fire in the factory and it basically lost everything. They used the name of United States Glass until 1927, when the label changed to Tiffin. And then that factory actually survived during the Great Depression, when a lot of the glass factories were going out of business. By 1940, all of their glass was marked with a Tiffin label. Now, of course, the labels have been lost through the years, so you have to rely on someone out there that's got one with the label that's posted it online, so you can be like, oh yeah, that's what I have. And then they had like so many bankruptcies and sales and owners, like it transferred ownership, and like I think I've got 5 or 6 different times that it transferred ownership. But it stayed in Ohio. Their corporate offices moved from Pittsburgh to Ohio at some point. Let me just see if there's anything else interesting here. They closed in 1980. Let's see, in 1963, the Glassport factory, so that must have been a second factory, was destroyed by a tornado. So let me see, yada yada, that went way back. And the last time it was sold was in 79, and then it closed in 1980. And then the mold and the trademarks were sold in after 1980. And then later than that, in 1991, the Tiffin Glass Collectors Club purchased the molds. So no more is being made. But it's really hard to date that particular piece right now. It's definitely what I would consider mid-century. Best I can do with that. Okay, next piece I found is under a couple things. Give me a minute. Gotta rearrange. Okay, I found a sit-in stricker. I love this piece. Look at this platter. It's a sit-in stricker, side-in stricker, however you want to say it. I'm not sure how it's supposed to be said. I've heard it both ways. It's a platter. The pattern is blue daisies. It is not being made anymore. Sit-in stricker is in Brewster, Massachusetts. Is that right? Yes, Brewster, Massachusetts. And they are still making glass. They have a similar pattern to this where the daisies are white and then there's like a dragonfly. And this size platter, I believe, is sold new for $70. Obviously, resales are not that high. This is a retired pattern. I paid, my things are a little out of order here. I paid $3.99 for this. This was at a different place up in Maryland. I'd say the solds are 12 to 18. Like, they don't have really, really high sold resale value. I think these flatter plates do better than the ones with all the ruffles. So I'm probably going to ask 24 and see, you know, take a best offer if the solds are 12 to 18. It is signed. With the sit-in stricker stuff, it is really hard to find their signature. They sign it in the back, and it's like etched in, and you just kind of have to catch it in the right light. There it is. It's down here. Now, I may not be able to show this. It's above my finger. It's not really showing, but you can see that something is etched there, and that is the name of the company. So yeah, I think, you know, like I said, I bought it for $3.99. I think 12 to 18. I'm hoping I can get 18 for it. I think that would be really good. So what I wrote down, I copied from the internet some stuff on sit-in stricker, because a lot of the other things I have, I don't really have things I can talk about. So that sit-in stricker company was started in the mid-60s by a guy named Bill Siden, or sit-in stricker. And he was on Cape Cod, Massachusetts, and he did some research at MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, while he was there, and he actually studied early Egyptian art, and he studied enameling. And he basically was playing with the way to make things look enameled on glass. And then he just did different designs. Now, we've talked a lot about Peggy Carr glass and their process. This is a very similar process. They have the two plates of glass, and they stencil over one, and they use different glass, glass, what did he call it? Called it something. It's like powdered glass, I think. It says the process begins with a large sheet of clear glass cut into two identical pieces, which will eventually become fused together to form the finished piece, of course. One of the sheets is placed in the artist's workstation above a light source, so the light comes from under. A stencil made of paper, fabric, or thin plastic is placed on the glass and covered with different colors of powdered glass using a mesh sieve. And then the stencil is removed, and they put a new stencil, and they do that with the next color, and so on and so on. And then it says, after the bottom glass is decorated and inspected, the matching glass sheet is carefully placed on top. Then it's placed under or on top of a mold, terracotta mold, and fired up to 1500. And then they are removed from the kiln, washed, inspected, placed on display, etc. And Bill Sit-in stricker passed in 1994. But all of the pieces that the factory makes are still using his techniques and his molds, etc. So it's pretty exciting. It says they've done thousands of different designs, and they're continuing to refine their craft. So that's cool. Okay, I'm gonna put this on the floor and move on here. So the next thing I found two things in the next place that I went, also up in Maryland. This one, me and my fish, this is a giant fish. And this one is fascinating because it looks like Alexandrite glass. Like the blue, definitely, I'm gonna switch my lighting up for a second. I'm gonna just cycle the ring light between the blue light and the yellow light and the mixed light. So let me just see if it makes a difference. That's the blue light. That's the yellow light. It does not make a difference on camera. Fascinating. When I was playing with this earlier, this actually went to blue. So I'm thinking it might be Alexandrite glass, like the neodymium type thing. I need to play around with it under different lighting and see if it actually goes blue. But the other thing about this is it is definitely glowy. So, oh man, I don't know if y'all can see that. Under the, like if I put this in my light box, you can see it sort of at the bottom here. If I put it in my light box, this thing glows bright green, the whole entire fish. You can see it at the back there. I don't want to blind myself. But anyway, it glows bright green. So that's really cool. Oops, that's really cool. I don't know who makes this. I don't know if it's Murano. I mean, the bottom is polished. It's just not, it's more satiny. Like, I'm not sure. It's got a little ding in the bottom as well. So I have some more I need to learn about this guy. And I didn't see anything. I took so many different pictures of this, but I did not see a single fish in this same style, like this same pattern. So I got to do more research. Like I said, I paid $8. I paid $7.99 for him. I think 40-ish, 40 to 60. My other fish have done really, really well. Maybe less. I'm just not sure. I've got to find out if he's Murano or not. It's definitely the Sommerso technique. You can see that it's a lavender blob that's kind of encased in clear. And there was a little halo of blue around it in a couple of places, but not very pronounced. So anyway, I don't know, but I know it's worth more than $8, so I picked him up. Okay, and then the next thing, I picked up one other thing at that place, and it's similar to the paperweight I got last week that I showed you that I said was potentially Joe St. Clair, but it didn't have the Joe St. Clair at the bottom. This also doesn't have Joe St. Clair at the bottom. I'm hoping it was labeled. It's like a little teapot, and it's a ring holder. So you put your rings here, have this next to your bed at night, and you put your rings on the top. You can probably even slide them down the spout to hold on to them overnight until you wake up in the morning and put them on again. It's like pink flowers with controlled bubbles in the center and around. It's really pretty. Same conundrum as last week. It's not stamped Joe St. Clair, and there's no label. So I can't 100% say that, but if you Google Lens it, all that comes up is Joe St. Clair. So I'm semi-confident. I'm not 100% confident. It also has an annealment crack, which I did not see in the store, of course, because the label was covering it, because isn't it always? So this one, you can see there's a crack right there. You don't feel it. It's inside the glass. It does detract from the value. I will probably save this until my paperweight sale that I'm going to be doing. I think it's November actually, but I've only got like 5 paperweights so far, so I need to be collecting paperweights. Anyway, I paid $3.19 for it without a crack. That's not worth a whole lot, maybe 12 to 14, 8 to 12. You know, that's not a very valuable paperweight. I paid $3.19. If I can get 6 for it in my auction, that'll be fantastic. If I get 8 or more, that's great, but I would be happy with even 6 because of the crack. So that is what it is. All right, moving on to the next place. I found, still in Maryland, I found another of the Indian vases, Navajo pottery. It is signed on the base. I can't make out the signature quite yet. I'm not really sure about who specifically made it. I paid $3.99 for it. One sold on Etsy that is almost identical to this for $68. More commonly, they're in the 18 to 38-ish, but there are some that have sold 48 and closer to 60. So I think it just depends who's looking and who's buying on that particular day. I may list this high and then drop the price over time. I'm just not sure yet on that one. That one will probably go up on eBay because it's considerably, it's big. So yeah, then I found this really cute little Mexico trinket box. It is a sun. It is not signed and it's not stamped Mexico, which is really odd. So I'm wondering if it maybe had a label or something. But this matches a lot of the Talavera Mexico sun trinket boxes that are listed on eBay. I only paid 74 cents for it, which was really good because it was on sale kind of thing. And the prices on these are 6 to 15, most of them right around 12, 11.99, 12. So for 74 cents, turning into $12, I think that's great. And they seem to sell pretty quickly. There's a lot of solds on these. So that was exciting. Then I found, I'm going to move out of frame for a second. Oy, I've got a couple pottery kiddush cups or wine glasses. In the Jewish tradition, they use it as a ritual. What do? I'm trying to think what the word, bless, that's the word. Oh my gosh, I'm like, where did that word go? You say a blessing over the wine on Friday night and Saturday morning. And this could be a cup used for that. Any old wine glass could do. So this is basically a wine glass or a kiddush cup. If you see them listed online, a lot of times they are listed as kiddush cups. Or wine glass, whatever, wine ceramic, because it's not glass. It is signed. I don't know by whom. I can't really make out that mark. I don't know if it goes this way or this way or this way. I'm not really sure. If any of you guys know, please let me know in the comments. It is stoneware. You can see that the clay has like little stones in it, so that's considered stoneware. So it's very sturdy and it's got a really cool design, and I don't know more about it. I picked it up for $1.99 and I thought that was a good deal. And then I got a second one by the same artist, similar but different. So the style of the top part is a little bit different. The design on it is a little different. The signature is the same, whatever that says. And it is also stoneware. So that was also $1.99. They sell 18, 14, depending on who the artist is, but 18 to 28-ish, some a little more, some a little less. You know, people that put it up on auction on eBay that take bids sometimes start really low. So occasionally it'll just be like one bid and it'll sell for $6.99 or something like that. But I mean, this is, I would say at least 15 for these. They're just really cool. And I'm going to sell them separately since they are not meant to be a pair. They're different sizes and different shapes. Okay, next thing I found there was this Australia wine bottle holder. I love the painting on this. So it's got a lot of Aboriginal design, and it's painted on the top and the bottom. And this sits there and you put your wine bottle in here and it kind of supports it. So it can sit on the table and your wine bottle is kind of coming up this way. I did sell something similar to this earlier in the year for around 10 or 12, I think. The other one was in a box. It might have been more. It might have actually been more. I have this listed as 8 to 12. I think that's reasonable for this. It's just in excellent condition. It's not signed, which is kind of sad, but it is hand painted and it's really cool. So I picked that up. I paid $1.99 for that. And you know, it's an 8, like I said, an 8 to 12, I think is reasonable on that. And then still in Maryland, same place, I found this Chinese junk boat. Now, it is not Chinese glass. The glass is from a company called J.G. Durand, and it's crystal, and then it says France. And then on the inside, like on the back of the sticker, you can see it says 24% lead crystal. It also says crystal au plomb, which in French is lead crystal. So this is in perfect condition. It's awesome. I paid $4.99 for that. I'm going to tell you a little bit about J.G. Durand because that's another company that has an interesting history. It's got a lot. I mean, I typed up, or I copied and pasted, I should say, many, many, many pages, which I will not bore you with. But they say that they're one of the most innovative and versatile crystal glass makers of the 20th century. And they were founded in 1927 near the village of Arques, France, Arques. So you may have seen Crystal Dark, D''Arques, Crystal Dark. That's one of their brands. They have a lot of brands now. And it says they produce now more than 6 million pieces per year in 6 production sites, including 2 in France, 1 in the United States, Spain, Italy, United Arab Emirates, and China. Now their current brands, I'm going to read them all: Luminarc, okay, which is one of the ones they started with, Crystal Dark, again, another one of their brands, and then they purchased Salviati and Mikasa and Studio Nova. So they bought Mikasa, I think it's around 2000. Let me see if I can find that. 2000, yeah. And that allowed them to branch into a lot of other areas. But the J.G. Durand, that's the family that owns this company. And like I said, they have a lot of different brands. I'm not going to go into all of the history. They had a lot of interesting changes, which I'm sure if you Google it, you can find it online. But in 1983, that's the year the company launched their high-end line named J.G. Durand. So this boat, wherever I put it over there, J.G. Durand, the boat that I showed you, the crystal boat, was 1983 or later because it has that J.G. Durand label. And it's, it says to complement its other brands, they started this high-end line. So, and then 1999, they bought Italy's Salviati. 2000, they bought Mikasa. Let's just see if there's anything else in here that's important. I don't think so, but so that's basically, that boat came from after 1983 or later. I don't think it's current. The fonts on there are older looking, so I would say probably 80s, 90s, maybe early 2000s, not 100% on that. And I paid $4.99, and one sold, there's only one that I can find on WorthPoint right now, and that sold for $38.47. So I think 35 to 45 is probably a good sweet spot. It may sell a little bit less, but I think that's a good place to aim for on that one. Okay, now we are on the 9th. So that was all on the 5th of July. I took that day and I went up to Maryland and I shopped at a few things in the inner suburbs of Maryland, a few different places. Then on the 9th, I did some shopping around here. 9th, it looks like, in 10th. So during the week, at least I think, you know what? I think that was during the week. I hope that was during the week. I don't know. I go out after work, so I think that's what this was. I found 3 things, and I was really excited. So I'm going to show you these things. And one of these is going to be in my, I think it's the thing I'm going to use for my thumbnail. Not this thing, but one of the other things. So I found these grapes. These are Lucite, or hard plastic is what they're listed as, the ones I could find online. They glow like crazy, which of course, you're not going to be able to see, darn it. They glow green. The ones that look kind of greenish are the ones that look the most green, and the clear. But they definitely glow under blacklight, under the 365 blacklight. So anyway, I paid $3.99 for these guys. One sold for $26.99. One sold for $18.99, so $19. Most of the listeds are in $22 to $25. I think that 18 to 24-ish is a good estimate for these. And I paid $3.99 for these. They're in really, really, really good condition. So I was excited to find those. Then I found a little glass turtle. He's going in my paperweight sale that'll be in November. He's probably made in China. I don't know. He could be not. He could be made anywhere. I don't know. I do see some people listing them as Murano. I'm not confident this is Murano. It doesn't scream that to me personally, but again, I don't know. So it's yellow, blue, and white swirl. He does not glow. I paid $2.99 for him. I would say 8 to 12 on him. One did sell for 21, exactly like him. So, and many are listed in the low 20s, but the solds, which is what's important, the solds are looking 8 to 12. So I may list him around 15 to 18. We'll see. I may list him low if he's going to be part of an auction, and we'll see if anybody wants to buy him. So anyway, that's the guy. Now I'm going to show you the one I'm so excited about. And it's not worth a lot. It's just so fun to find these out in the wild. This, I'm sure you all know what it is if you watch Jocelyn's stuff. This is Artisania Rinconada. I think I had one other piece earlier in my videos. I think I had an eagle at one point. This is the Highland Bull calf, or Highland calf bull, or Highland Cattle Bull. There you go. Highland Cattle Bull with flower. The flowers they come in different colors. And you can see the Artisania Rinconada logo right there on his butt. And this is so cute. Isn't he so cute? He's so cute. So I was excited. I was so excited. And I didn't find him the first time through the aisles. I went back, like I always do, a second round or third, and I started moving things so I could see everything behind. And lo and behold, he was sitting there staring at me, and I'm like, no. It was so exciting. He's just so cute. Anyway, I get excited by silly little things, but he excited me. So I paid $1.99 for him. He's worth around $20. You know, if you were to find him new in box, the value is closer to 60-ish. At least that's what I saw on one site. They have a catalog of all of the different critters, Artisania Rinconada critters, and he's listed as $60 in mint condition in box. But the eBay solds on him are closer to 20. Anyway, he may go higher. If I end up putting him into one of my auctions, he may go higher. I would just have to find the right auction, the right theme for him. So right now, he's probably going to live with me for a little bit. I don't think I'm going to list him quite yet. So I found that, and that was amazing. Then I went to another place, and I only found one thing. I found this gourd bowl, which has a flower and it has some feathers, and it still has its artist information on it. And the artist actually wrote the materials that she used to make it. It says gourd, pine needles, jacaranda pod, cacao flower. Some of these are hard to read. Periro pod. I don't know, those last three, I don't know, across the bottom. It looks like it says feathers, stitch tight stone, perhaps. Okay, so anyway, the artist on this is someone named Arlene Zaloznik, and she is in Arizona. The company is Arizona Baskets. She is a retiree that started doing baskets, regular weaving, and then started putting pine needles and natural materials into her stuff and doing gourd work as well. She's currently, I believe, still making stuff. This may be a little older, but maybe not vintage. She started, let me find my stuff on her. She started in 1996, so it might be vintage. I don't know when this particular piece was made. She started doing the weaving after taking a class in 1996, And then she says, I'm mostly self-taught, work out of my house in Green Valley, Arizona. Gourds are woven with pine needles and wax linen thread. They're left in their natural state and sealed with furniture polish to maintain and enhance the natural finish of the gourd. Okay, and then it says once the weaving is complete, so the top bit is kind of sort of, this one isn't really woven, it's more, maybe they call that weaving, not sure. Once the weaving is complete, they're sprayed with a protective acrylic spray. The gourds are embellished with natural gemstones, botanicals, pods, feathers, fossils, and or antlers. I look at the gourd, let it speak to me, and then I select the botanicals, feathers, beads, etc., often spending several hours until I find that right combination. No two gourds are alike. My work is on display at many galleries throughout the country, yada yada. So this is a picture, hang on. This is a picture of Arlene with some of her woven baskets. Oh, look at that one. That's cool. That's gourd with an antler, and wow, that's really cool. So anyway, that's her with some of her works. And then there were some pictures that I really thought were cool from one of the galleries that she exhibits in. So these are later works, and a lot of her later works have these pine needles on the side rather than around the top, and embellishing, like that's a huge stone and this one's a huge stone. So there's just some really fun stuff that she's doing now. And she, like I said, mostly exhibits at galleries. And actually the one that's on her card is like that too. That's just cool. I was excited to find it. I did pay a little up for it, I think. Actually, no, I paid $3.99. Oh my gosh, I only paid $3.99 for this beautiful piece. They've sold, her pieces sell like 24 to 65. There was a piece listed for 100. I don't think that sold. So I'm not sure yet where I'll list that, but definitely good pickup at $3.99. Then I ran over to Savers and got a couple good things, and so let me just show you what I got there. Let me grab them over here. 2, 3. Now this bud vase, I like this one. I'm not sure 100% where it's made. It's got some etched, like an etched flower and leaves. The shape and the bottom are exactly like something that's listed online from a company called Sansco from Japan. It's possibly Japanese crystal. Other people have similars listed as Bohemian, which would be Czech, but I don't know, I'm kind of leaning Japan just because the one that I saw, it looked just like this, except it was like a cluster of grapes. So it had a bunch of other spots like that. So I don't know. And the fact that the bottom was exactly the same and the shape was exactly the same and the height was exactly the same, I'm like, maybe that. So I paid $2.44 for this. They sell 15 to 18-ish. So yeah, that was that. Then I found my cautionary tale piece. Now I got this in a baggie. I was excited to find a studio pottery piece in a baggie, and it was stamped at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. It says Hosley Potteries. If you look up that online, do you know where Hosley Potteries are made? Give you a second. China. This is not studio pottery. So that is one that you want to know. So it's more like the thing that they would sell to the home decor places. So this is not studio pottery, although it appears to be studio pottery. So I was fooled, and I paid like $5. Actually, no, I got a discount. So I paid $4.19 for the bag. There was another piece in there which I left because it was not worth anything. So $4.19. The solds are still 12 to 18 on these. Probably closer to 12. I mean, it wasn't the most terrible thing I could have picked up, but I learned that that one is made in China. So let's see, did I write? I might have written something up on that. Let me just look real quick. But I did see something that like they make, yeah. So the it says Hosley was not an actual pottery studio, but rather a large factory that still makes items in China and resells them through department and other specialty stores. Not a lot of value as a collector's piece, but definitely makes for beautiful, affordable decor. So yeah, it's pretty. If you're buying it for yourself, it is definitely a pretty piece. I might stay away from it if you're finding it at resale, like if you're planning to resell it. So yeah, there's that. Then I found this piece that I don't know much about at all yet. It is made in Indonesia. It's carved. And the ones that I found were frogs. And this, well, you know what? Look at those feet. Maybe it's frogs. I thought at first it was monkeys. I thought it was the hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. And I thought it was monkeys. But now that I'm looking at it again, I don't know, monkeys or frogs? Tell me in the comments. Monkeys, frogs? It's got a tail. Tadpoles? Monkeys with frog-like feet? I don't know. It's three of some critter that are monkey frogs. Sure, we'll go with monkey frogs. I don't know. I paid $4.89 for it because I thought it was really cool. And the frog ones, I was seeing things online high, like in 30s, 40s, 50s. I think it's probably closer to 18 to 24. I even wrote down here 12 to 18, but some harder wood ones sell higher. I'm not really sure of the value of this. I still think monkeys. I think monkeys, because there's ears. Frogs don't have ears, right? I think monkeys. Anyway, for monkeys. From Indonesia. So anyway, yes, I'm being silly. Then the next day, my last grouping of things, they really didn't have much. So I went to a place that usually doesn't have much. I got this lacquer box, which I thought was beautiful. It had insects on it. It has like an insect here, flower. It's in really, really good condition. The soles were looking really good. And then I got it home into the light box, and I found that over on this side, I don't know if you'll be able to see, the lacquer is peeling. Yep, you can see it, right? You can see that line there. So it's like this central area here, the outer layer of lacquer has kind of come off. So it's just this, it almost looks like Australia. It's just an interesting shape right around here. I think that probably does detract from the value a little bit. The lacquer boxes, I think in good condition, they're still only 15 to 18. I paid $3.99 for it. It may be able to sell for 8 to 12. It's still otherwise gorgeous. It's got a nice shine to it. It's got some fun bugs on it. So anyway, it's pretty. So I picked it up. I need to get better at looking at things more closely when I'm in the store. Like I look and I think I'm seeing everything, and I don't see everything. But you guys would be proud of me, because in 2 or 3 cases this past week, I did leave things behind at the cash register. I was like, oh, there's a dent in that. Sorry, didn't see that. So I am trying to do that double check at the end. Then I also picked up this carved sheep. It is, I don't know, I don't know where it's made. It's got some interesting gold paint on it. It does have a marking that I need to try to decipher, which leads me to think it might be Japanese. Maybe I had that upside down. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it goes that way or this way. There are some other Japanese carved sheep. They don't look like this one. This is, I guess, a daddy sheep. It's a ram. Let me see. There were some wooden animals that sell really high in the 30s, 40s, 50s. I don't know enough about him. There's also some that sell 15 to 18. So I don't know. I'm going to try to do more research, but so far I haven't really found this particular one yet. So I paid, did I say, I paid $2.99 for him, and I think 15 to 18 is probably a good guess. And then I just found some art, because like when there's nothing in the store, a lot of times I'll go over and look at the art. I found one piece I should have left and two pieces that are fantastic. So hang on. Oh God, I'm gonna actually have to get up. Okay, so this piece I took out of the frame because the frame was really, really, really beat up, and also the mat was very stained. And I think I put a little bit on a Q-tip, a little bit of peroxide, and I went around. So I got a lot of it out. You know, you don't really notice. There's that mottled look to it. So the artist here is Barbara Mock, and I think what I'm going to need to do is start carrying my loop when I go to buy art, because this is not a original watercolor. It is a print. You can tell the difference if you look under the loop. A print is just a bunch of dots, like it was screen printed, as opposed to a painting where you'd see the actual brush strokes. So this is called hang on, I actually have it, what it's called. It is called Blue and White Porcelain Pansies is the name of this piece. It is her item number 4541. This is Barbara Mock right here. Okay. And she is an American Impressionist whose paintings are renowned for their floral and garden themes. And it says she's been on a lifetime journey pursuing her dream of becoming an artist. Her love of nature and flowers always finds its way into her paintings. Her favorite subjects are garden scenes, florals, holiday, and country scenes. Her images have been licensed for needlework, decorator art prints, tapestries, calendars, wallpaper, cards, puzzles, yada, yada, yada. It doesn't say yada, yada, but there's a lot more things. She lives in the beautiful North Georgia mountains with her husband, Jim, and their dog, Penny. So I don't know if she's still producing new works. I know that she's licensed a lot of her portfolio out, and I haven't found anything to indicate one way or the other. I paid $3.99 for it. The framed prints, because there's so many of them, they sell only 15 to 24, and I think without the frame, I think 8 to 12 is probably more reasonable. So I don't think that's going to be a huge profit. I did only pay $3.99, so that's cool. And then my last two, I think I showed you everything else. My last two are watercolors, framed watercolors, and they are original. They are originals from Tuscany, Italy, Toscana, and they are signed. The mats, actually it's signed on the same board, the same paper, so it's not signed on the mat. So that is an original, and it's really cool. And then I have one more by the same artist. They were together as a pair. So there's that one, also signed. They say Toscana, and then the artist signature. The last name starts with starts with B. I saw something that was Bloom, so I might try to look that up. But the small framed watercolor prints in general are selling in the $60 to $100 range. I paid $4.99 for each of them, so I paid $10 for the two together. I don't know if I'm going to sell them as a pair. I might sell them as a pair. I don't know yet. Those will go on eBay just because I've been doing my art, the framed art, on eBay. I still have a bunch more to list. I'm waiting till I get bigger boxes for some of those. So anyway, my total spend for this particular week, which was the time frame of the 5th to the 10th, was $83.26. When I add up the value, and again estimating everything on the low end of the range, and a couple of them I even estimated lower than the range, I came up with exactly $500. So it's a good 6 times, almost exactly. If you take $83.26 and 6x it, it comes out to around $500. It comes out to exactly $500. So that's it. That is all for this week. Yay. God, I went long again. I'm gonna have to start doing smaller hauls, y'all, to get the time frame down. Have a wonderful week, everybody. I will see you next week. So again, Next week's video will go up on the, what's the date? The 21st? Something like that. Whatever the Sunday is. I wrote it down somewhere now. I can't find the page. It will go up on that Sunday. And that one will be on the auction haul, which I may actually split into two because I got a lot of pieces and I don't like my videos going this long. So we'll figure that out. But my first show, my upcoming live Niknax show will be on the 26th, which will be after that. All right, have a great week, everybody. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next week. Bye.